Welcome to History Captain, where we explore the lives of the most influential and powerful figures in history. Please remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. In this episode, we'll be talking about the true story of Lawrence Anini, one of Nigeria's most notorious armed robbers. Nigeria has recorded two types of armed robbers: Lawrence Anini and others. No armed robber has ever held the entire country on ransom as Anini. In fact, his reign was so bloody that it was even discussed at the State Security Council meeting. He held the old Bendel state captive in the 1980s. Bendel is now known as Edo and Delta states. His main area of operation was Benin City, to be precise. Anini was born in a village about 20 miles from Benin City in present-day Edo State. He was dreadfully called the Law or Obigbo, an only son of his Ebuesi-born mother. He had two sisters. His father died when he was still a young boy, and Anini was brought to Benin, where he was admitted at the Oza Primary School. But from a young age, he started manifesting signs of truancy. He struggled to finish his primary school and entered the Gedumu Secondary School. He did not spend more than 3 years when he dropped out of school, preferring to be an apprentice at a local mechanic workshop. That was around 1976. He started work as a lorry driver, some say taxi driver, after his master fired him, and slowly transformed into a leader of the local motor parks, controlling and commanding touts. Following the sudden overthrow of politicians in the early 1980s and banning of politics in 1984 by the Buhari regime, the highly skilled driver, now of criminal gangs and godfathers, discovered that armed robbery was far more lucrative and decided to form his own deadly gang, which included Monday Osubo, Friday Ofege, Henry Mpoa, Ebuweka, and Alhaji ZZ or Zege Zege, who was never captured. They started out as car hijackers, bus robbers, and bank thieves. He sealed a pact with corrupt police officers and ruled with reckless abandon. The complicity of the police is believed to have triggered Anini's reign of terror in the 1986 highway robberies, carjackings, bank raids. Anini was a specialist in all aspects of preferring with the gun. Gradually, he extended his criminal acts to other towns and cities far north and east of Benin. In early 1986, two members of his gang were tried and prosecuted against an earlier under-the-table agreement with the police to destroy evidence against the gang robbers. The incident, and Anini's view of police betrayal, is believed to have spurred retaliatory actions by Anini. In 1986, a fatal bank robbery linked to Anini was reported, in which a police officer and others were killed. That same month, two officers on duty were shot at a barricade while trying to stop Anini's car. During the span of 3 months, he was known to have killed 9 police officers. In an operation of August 1986, the Anini team struck at First Bank's Sambongidaora, where they carted away 2,000 naira. But although the amount stolen was seen as chicken feed, they left the scene with a trail of blood and many persons were killed. On September 6, same year, the Anini gang snatched a Peugeot 504 from Albert Otto, the driver of an Assistant Inspector General of Police, Christopher Omeben. In snatching the car, they killed the driver and went to hide his corpse somewhere. 3 months later, the skeleton of the driver was spotted 16 kilometers away from Benin, along the Benin-Agbo Highway. A day after this attack, Anini, operating in a Passat car believed to have been stolen, also effected the snatching of another Peugeot 504 car near the former FEDECO office in Benin. 2 days later, the Anini men killed 2 policemen in Orionwan local government area of the state. Still in that month, 3 different robbery attacks, all pointing to Anini's involvement, took place. A day after the operation, Anini visited a village near Benin and threw wads of naira notes on the ground for free pick by market men and women. Between August and December 1986, he led a 4-month reign of terror. He also reportedly wrote numerous letters to media houses using political tones of Robin Hood-like words to describe his criminal acts. The then military president, General Ibrahim Babangida, saw the nation's fear for the daredevil and ordered a massive manhunt for the kingpin and his fellow robbers. The police thus went after them, combing every part of Bendel State where they were reportedly operating and living. However, the more they were hunted, the more intensified their actions became. Some of the locals in the area even began to tell stories of their invincibility, and after a while, it felt like they were never going to be caught. At the conclusion of a meeting of the Armed Forces Ruling Council in October 1986, General Babangida turned to the Inspector General of Police, Etim Inyang, and asked, "My friend, where is Anini?" At about this time, Nigerian newspapers and journals were also publishing various reports and editorials on the Anini challenge or the Anini saga, the Anini factor, Lawrence Anini, the man, the myth, Anini, Jack the Ripper, and Lawrence Anini, a Robin Hood in Bendel. The Guardian asked emphatically in one of his reports, will they ever find Anini the law? The Anini terror finally came to an end thanks to the courage of the Superintendent of Police, Kayode Erenoro. On December 3rd, 1986, Erenoro caught Anini at number 26 Onyemosa Street, opposite Igodala Primary School, Benin City, in company with 6 women. Acting on a tip-off from the locals, the policeman went straight to the house where Anini was hiding and apprehended him with very little resistance. Onyenroro led a crack 10-man team to the house, knocked on the door of the room, and Anini himself, clad in underpants, opened the door. "Where is Anini?" the police officer quickly inquired. Dazed as he was caught off guard and having no escape route, Anini all the same tried to be smart. "Oh, Anini is under the bed in the inner room." As he said it, he made some moves to walk past Onyenroro and his team. In the process, he shoved and headbutted the police officer, but it was an exercise in futility. Onyenroro promptly reached for his gun, stepped hard on Anini's right toe, and shot at his left ankle. Anini surged forward, but the policemen took hold of him and put him in a sitting position. They then poked more bullets into his short leg and almost severed the ankle from his entire leg. Already anguished by the excruciating pain, the policeman asked him, "Are you Anini?" And he replied, "My brother, I won't deceive you. I won't tell you lie. I'm Anini." While in police nets, Anini, who had poor command of English and could only communicate in Pidgin, made a whole lot of confessions. He disclosed, for instance, that Osumbo, who had been arrested earlier, was his deputy, saying that Osumbo actually shot and wounded the former police boss of the state, Akagbusu. The daredevil robbers also revealed that some policemen assisted them in the criminal operations in Bendel State and the entire country. Anini particularly revealed that George Iyamu, who was the most senior police officer shielding the robbers, would reveal police secrets to them and then give them logistic support such as arms to carry out the robbery operations. Because of his numerous gunshots, Anini had one of his legs amputated in a military hospital. When his hideout was searched, police recovered assorted charms, including the one he usually wore around his waist during operations. All charms were disposed after his arrest. Due to the amputation of his leg, Anini was confined to a wheelchair throughout his trial. He was sentenced to death by Justice James Omagege and executed on March 29, 1987. At History Captain, we strive to provide our viewers with exciting and informative content about the world's greatest historical figures. We hope that you found this video both exciting and enlightening. Thanks for watching.